Hi guys, I said before, the Tories are more interested in gimmicks than actually helping people. Why? Well, one requires thinking, consultation and investment, while the other can be thrown together in a 10-minute brainstorming session in the back of number 10. The latest trick to convince the public that the Conservatives are working hard is to introduce a new offence to protect store staff against shoplifters. Here, Home Office Minister Farris explains how this is going to work.
We're very proud of our record on crime. We've got violent crime down 51% since we came in. Neighbourhood crime, stuff like burglary, car theft, that's down 48%. But one area where we have seen an increase, particularly in the last sort of 12 to 24 months, is in shoplifting and also assaults on retail workers, which very often goes hand in hand with it. And so today we are announcing a standalone offence of assault on a retail worker that will be accompanied by a bespoke package of sanctions. So, for example, if somebody is apprehended because they've abused or they've assaulted a retail worker, not only will they be sentenced for that, but they can expect to get a criminal behaviour order, which is a sort of protective order, meaning they probably can't go back to that shop or somewhere else, and they could be looking at 5 years in prison if they breach that order.
Oh my goodness. So you can imagine there are a few problems with this. First of all, the criminal justice system is in utter chaos. We recently heard about barristers who are going on strike over pay and new entries going on strike as well over the massive workload that they're under. How is this going to be enforced? The Tories haven't hired enough police officers over the last 14 years. And how are staff going to enforce it? Now, she also talked about sending people to prison for up to 5 years. But there was a recent story about how the government is going to let people out early, as much as 2 months, because the jails are full. And finally, there's already legislation for this. Assaulting shop staff is an offence punishable by up to 6 months in prison. So this is just pointless posturing by the Tories once again as we get closer to the general election and to the local elections. Pretend to be tough on crime. Also, why is there a rise in shoplifting? Could it be related to the cost of living crisis and the fact that even food banks are running out of money? It's a farce, but once again designed to win over and shore up support with the hard of thinking voters. Is it going to succeed? Probably not. It's just a bit of window dressing before we get to the election. But it shows that, once again, that they're not interested in actually doing something. It's just gimmicks. The same way with Rwanda, which has recently had the story of the Air Rwanda, the national airline in the African state, have said we're not actually going to take refugees from the UK either. So it seems that Rishi Sunak can't rely on Rwanda to take refugees from Britain to that country, and he can't rely on the country to house them either because a lot of the properties have been sold off. So gimmick after gimmick after gimmick in an attempt to convince the public that the Tories are doing something, when in reality they're just spinning their wheels as we get closer to the election. So it's going to be interesting, the response from the voters on the 2nd of May at the local elections and the mayoral elections. Are the Tories going to get a bloody nose? Because they deserve it. But it will be setting the mark, setting the standard for what's going to happen to Rishi Sunak going forward. Because if the result is pretty bad, then it's likely there'll be more pressure on him to resign. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.